The next morning, sunlight slanted through the gaps in the blinds, painting stripes across the worn wooden floorboards of Emma's bedroom. Her phone buzzed on the bedside table, pulling her from sleep. Groaning, she fumbled for the device and squinted at the screen. An incoming FaceTime call from an unknown number. Emma swiped to answer, bringing the phone closer. "Hello!" she mumbled sleepily. The face that filled the screen was David Harrison's. His hair was sleep mussed, his tie loosened. In the background, a luxurious hotel room hinted at the life he led. "Good morning, sleepyhead," David said with a teasing grin. "Hope I'm not waking you." "Too early." "Too early." "Too early for what?" Emma asked sleepily, then bolted upright as she remembered yesterday's impromptu coffee date. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were still at the hotel." No, I wanted to see you again before tonight," David replied. "So bold of you to FaceTime me without an invitation," Emma teased, sitting up cross-legged on her bed. "Do I need an invitation to chat with the woman I enjoyed spending yesterday afternoon with?" "Fair point," Emma conceded with a laugh. "What did you want to talk about?" "Just see how you're feeling," David replied softly. "Truthfully, I haven't been able to stop thinking about our conversation yesterday. Your insights, your spirit, your energy. I feel like I've known you forever." "I feel the same," Emma admitted, blushing at his intensity. "Okay, well, then how about this? Since we both have the afternoon free, how about we meet for lunch instead of dinner? Same place, 1 p.m. "Sounds perfect," Emma replied, her stomach fluttering with anticipation. She hung up the phone and hurried to change into something more presentable than her pajamas. Then she paused, staring at her reflection in the mirror. What was she doing? She was about to meet a man she barely knew. A man who could offer her unimaginable opportunities with just a snap of his fingers. Yet here she was prioritizing an afternoon of fun. Part of her knew this could be a life-changing decision. The logical side argued for caution, but her heart pounded with excitement. She wasn't sure if this was bravery or foolishness, but she liked the feeling. The cafe was bustling when Emma arrived, filled with students hunched over laptops, couples sharing quiet conversations, and solo diners reading or sipping their drinks. But her eyes scanned the room for David Harrison, spotting him instantly. She approached his table. He stood up as she approached, offering her a bouquet of lilies, her favorite. "For me?" she asked, surprised. "I thought they reminded me of you. Strong, elegant, yet simple and pure," David replied, taking her hands in his. "Very poetic," she teased, though she blushed at his romantic gesture. He pulled out a chair for her, then sat down across from her, a hint of nervousness in his eyes. "Thank you for meeting me again," Emma said, wanting to ease his tension. "I could see why you felt lonely in that room last night. Even though it's grand, it feels empty." "No wonder you were drawn to someone who felt real." David smiled, the tension easing from his shoulders. "You're the realest person I've met in months." "Thank you for that, Emma. I needed that reminder." Over lunch, they talked about everything and nothing. David shared stories about his work, the challenges of keeping his company afloat during tough economic times. Emma listened attentively, surprised by his humility and dedication. When it was her turn to share, she described her love for literature, her passion for books. She discovered that David was an avid reader, too, and he peppered her with questions, hanging on her every word. Before they parted ways, they exchanged numbers, promising to text later. That evening, as Emma lay in bed, her phone buzzed with a new message. "Thank you for today, Emma. You helped me remember what it's like to enjoy life instead of merely enduring it." His words echoed in her mind, making her heart ache. She knew she shouldn't get too attached. This whirlwind romance could end abruptly, leaving her shattered. Yet a tiny part of her dared to hope. Maybe this was the start of something real. Something worth holding on to. Days turned into weeks, filled with stolen lunches, quiet dinners, and late-night talks. David's world revolved around business deals, board meetings, and corporate drama. Yet he always made time for Emma, proving his commitment. She learned about his philanthropic endeavors, his secret dream of opening a free library in underprivileged communities. He listened as she confided her desire to travel the world, her fear of never fulfilling her potential. "I want to help you become everything you're meant to be, Emma," David confessed one rainy afternoon, cupping her face in his hands. "What does that mean?" she whispered, her heart pounding. "It means I want to support you, encourage you to take risks, chase your dreams. I believe in you, Emma Harrison. Don't waste your life working for someone else's dreams." His words ignited a fire within her. She realized she was at a crossroads, a chance to choose her own path. Was she willing to take the leap? One Saturday morning, David woke Emma with a gentle kiss on the cheek. "Come with me," he whispered, his eyes shining with excitement. "Where?" she asked sleepily, snuggling closer. "To my home. My parents are in town and they've been asking about you. Thought it was time they met you." Surprise washed over Emma. She hadn't expected this step so soon. What if David's parents disapproved of her? The thought terrified her. They're incredibly welcoming and warm-hearted people. David sensed her hesitation and reassured her. "You have nothing to worry about. I promise." As they stepped into his palatial living room, Emma froze. Two elegantly dressed individuals turned from their conversation, their faces etched with polite smiles. They were older, more polished versions of David, their features mirroring his strong jawline and intense gaze. "Emma, this is my mother and father," David said, gesturing for her to shake their hands. "It's a pleasure to meet you," his mother said warmly, her eyes twinkling. "We've heard so much about you." "Me too," Emma replied, surprised by their easy acceptance. Lunch with David's parents was filled with laughter and light-hearted conversation. They grilled her about her interests, her career aspirations, all without an ounce of judgment or condescension. Emma found them disarmingly genuine and down to earth. "It's refreshing to see how happy you make our son, Emma," David's mother said, as they cleared plates after lunch. "He's worked so hard for so long. To see him relax and smile again is a gift." "I'm glad you're in his life," his father added, clapping a